All right, we're here with Meredith, and Meredith actually has in her arms her little one who will be joining us today. And she reached out to our team a few months ago. Actually, maybe when did you have your baby?
She was born first week of November, November 8th.
November 8th. Okay, so
Hmm.
November 8th of 2025, and reached out and just share with our team the exciting news. And so I just wanted to invite her on here and hear from her a little bit about her story, a little bit about her fertility struggles, how she overcame them, and ultimately, how she got to where she is today. So hand it over to you, Meredith.
Yeah. Yeah. So I joined your, I guess, January or New Year cohort so it's been almost, a full year now, since we've officially worked together. And I was lucky and ended up getting pregnant just like right towards the end of our cohort, which was just great. But so previously, before I worked with you and Carrie, I'd gone through 2.5-ish years of trying to start our family, and ultimately had 5 miscarriages within those years. And so, I had my first one and it was like, oh, darn, but that's a statistic. I know it happens. It's normal, right? We'll try again. And then I ended up getting pregnant again and then having another loss, which was, a little bit extra devastating because that was two in a row, which was just like, well, okay, now this doesn't feel as normal. So then I was like, I didn't have an OB yet. So I got in with an OB and they were nice and ran some labs. Of course, nothing except for my thyroid was like 2.5 or 2.6 or something, which is above what they'd ideally want. And so they did put me on a thyroid med and did that, but then ended up having a third loss and a fourth loss under my OB's care. And then I was eventually recommended to see an RE to see, maybe what else could be going on. Like through this time, I was starting to look into functional medicine and functional fertility while still working with my OB. And I had kind of created a Finsta, I guess you'd call it, and just started following a lot of people. And I think Olivia, you were one of them early on, and so I had been following you for a long time. And so I was trying to piece together things on my own, just through online sources, which was not ultimately successful. Then I met with an RE. They saw I had thyroid antibodies, maybe having an inflammatory response to pregnancies, and so they also prescribed prednisone with my fifth pregnancy, but that was ultimately also ended in a miscarriage. So they were also at that point just lost, and they were like, we could try IVF. And it was like, well, I just don't think that that's what I need.
Right.
I don't, that we had done testing for genetic mutations and things like that, and nothing was ever wrong between, my husband and I and our DNA. So it's just like, I just don't know how that will solve the problem. It just seems like a lot of money um, that I will probably get the same result, is how I felt, how I always felt, but that's just where they were at with me. So during that time, probably after the fifth miscarriage, I had a meeting with a different functional fertility specialist. Um, and they advertise like a 95+% success rate with recurrent miscarriage. And I was like, okay, I mean, this is what I
Wow.
need. This is, that's really exciting. And so I decided to spend a lot of money to work with them. It was over $5,000 for the testing. But I was like, they have a huge success rate. It's worth it. I've already spent so much time and energy. What's $5,000, to have my daughter or son, at the time
Mhm.
here. So it was a really long process. It probably took 4 months for me to even have the first appointment, and then another 4 months before I got all the lab testing back that they wanted to have done. And so during that time, I was reaching out, just being like, hey, I know that I have these tests, and like, I know my thyroid's off. I
Mhm.
know, I have blood sugar imbalances. Like, what could I be doing right now while I'm waiting to talk to you? Do you have any recommendations of things that I could be doing in these 4 months before I get all the tests back? And it was really discouraging because it was just like, nope, nope, we will not give you any guidance until we have this official meeting, to plan out what you need to do, which I
Right.
understand. It's like they're trying to get the whole picture. But I just, you're feeling desperate and, women trying to conceive. It's like each month that passes is you feel like a lost month. So ultimately I had that meeting, and what it was to sell you on, hey, we see these things are wrong, but if you want guidance, you have to pay us a $2,000 a month additional fee to get the guidance on
Wow.
what you need to
On
fix,
top of
basically.
what you already paid for
And
all
it
the
was a
tests.
six. Yes. So where I thought I was getting this one-on-one help, it was like, oh, no, 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 that was just for us to analyze things. And yes, we see that you have things wrong, but you have to commit to 6 months at $2,000 plus a month. And it
Wow.
was just like, I feel I can't work with you anymore. It was just like I felt discouraged. I felt disheartened. It was just like that was not what I read the fine print to be. I did not understand that was what was going to be happening. And it was just like, who can afford another $2,000 plus a month to get bit by bit pieces? It was like,
Exactly.
yeah,
And
you weren't going to
especially if
get the
they're
whole
just,
picture.
it's gatekeeping, to be honest. So
Yeah.
they have the information, but well, now you have to pay more to get it. That's just, yeah, doesn't feel very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I thought you were someone that wanted to help people, and this just doesn't feel very generous in that way. But then luckily, so that was, towards the end of the year, and then your January cohort was starting like within the next few weeks. And I had wanted to start your fall cohort, but I ended up meeting with this person instead. And so I went with them, and it was like, okay, I might be crazy for spending another, whatever, $1,000, but I'm doing it because it was just like, I need help, and I don't know how to get it. And so, yeah, I mean, it was night and day. And I think I messaged you and Carrie just like from day one, just how the feeling was. And the group cohort is such an accessible uh form as well, an accessible form where a lot of people are able to get specific help from you and Carrie. And it was just like I felt supported automatically. And you guys immediately, I already had all my labs, so you guys were able to work with me quickly because I had all the background already done too. And so it was just a quick turnaround from feeling really discouraged to then just feeling like supported, and like I had a plan in place, and people to help me through it like on day one. So that was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, so ultimately, I just went through those weeks, and what I realized is I had a lot of things to work on just overall health wise. I think ultimately, there were blood clotting factors that were in place that I did need help with. And so that, we had a mixture of functional fertility plus help from my RE with different medications that were ended up having a successful pregnancy with the guidance and, just working on different things. But ultimately, I even feel better now than I did pre-pregnancy, during those times, because through my entire pregnancy, I continued to do, you know, make sure I was eating properly, not over exercising, obviously, balancing my blood sugar, rest. Like I eat my postpartum, I think I really attribute to how good I feel postpartum to the work that I've put in, through those 9 months and prior, basically.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, I had a really healthy pregnancy. I had no complaints other than just, regular pregnancy third trimester complaints, I would say. But really, I dealt with minimal to no nausea. I had great energy levels. Half the time, I am in healthcare, and my patients, were like, they were just amazed. I got a lot of comments on just like how well I seemed to be doing, and how much energy I had. And I really think that was because I continued to implement the things that I learned in the cohort.
Mm.
And then postpartum am continuing to do as well. And so I really attribute, yeah, how good I feel to the things that I learned.
Mm. That just, I'm just exploding with happiness. It's amazing. And I just love hearing. I mean, that's why our name is what it is, your fertility, your future. It's, yes, of course, getting pregnant, staying pregnant is everyone's goal. And we want that to happen for every person that comes across our virtual doors. But ultimately, having success on these other areas and feeling our best and being confident in the direction we're going and seeing progress, and ultimately setting ourselves up for the best pregnancy, the best postpartum. You also set your little beautiful baby up for a wonderful long-term, health in her life as well. So it's your
Yeah.
fertility, your future, and that's powerful. We don't get that whenever we skip over things and force a body to have a pregnancy that isn't ready for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So it's really just a testament to, I mean, your tenacity to keep finding answers, and even through multiple heartaches of loss, to, yes, IVF was an option for you, right? And you know me, I'm not anti IVF, and that could have also ended in a beautiful story.
Yeah. Yeah.
but, but you ultimately worked on the, I mean, down to mitochondrial health, you can name so many things, inflammation, egg quality.
Hmm.
Took the time to understand and implement and show change in those things that now present and reward you with all of these things you just mentioned.
Yeah. 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 It's huge. And I think, yeah, you spoke to it. It's also really reassuring knowing that I'm helping that I helped my daughter and help my, hopefully, later kids to have a healthier life as well, just because, yeah, exactly, that pre-conception support and planning, the research shows that it is helpful, and yeah, helps them in the long term too. And that's just, yeah, really important in my mind as well, for sure.
It is an opportunity. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
opportunity. It's not the easiest one, and it's not the quickest one, but it is an
Yeah.
opportunity, and you chose that. And now it's just so beautiful seeing and hearing you share what that feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, yeah, just thank you for all your help. And again, what you're doing, it makes access to functional support, yeah, really accessible and doable. And so I think it's just, yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing for everybody that is able to work with
Thank you,
you.
Meredith.
So yeah,
It
yeah,
means the world to us, and that's our goal, our mission. This is just what fills up our hearts, and it's just really beautiful to hear from women like you who've been through it. So thank you for sharing. And is there
yeah.
anything else you want to share with those who might be considering, well, okay, it is an investment, yes, you still do have to pay for the service. I wish we didn't have to charge for it. I wish we could hand out this information for free, but then we wouldn't be able to get this to the people who need it, because we couldn't be doing this as our careers. What would you share with somebody who's maybe watching this and thinking like, oh, yeah, I don't, what if I'm not pregnant at the end and it's a waste of money?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's worth every penny. I know, yeah, not being pregnant at the end is would feel like, oh man, I didn't get my goal. But ultimately, like I said, like the end goal, yes, is the pregnancy, but ultimately I'm in better health than I was. I have better mood stability. I don't have all the bloating and digestion and things like issues like that I used to have. And ultimately, that creates a healthy environment for a pregnancy and so on and so forth. And so maybe it doesn't happen in 8 weeks, but I
Mm-hmm.
think, again, if you do those supportive things and you continue that journey, I do believe that ultimately, you'll achieve that end goal. But again, it's worth every penny. And I spend a lot of time not wanting to spend money to get that help. And I couldn't do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I try to piece things together for free, and ultimately I didn't know what I was doing, and
Yeah.
getting the direct support, yeah, was worth every penny. And I'm in better health because of it. Yeah.
Amazing. And I pulled up your original why. I mean, I love looking back on this, especially when we're able to meet after you someone that we worked with has reached success, no matter what that looks like. And I'm just
Yeah.
going to read a couple sentences from it. And you said, you know, you have had the 5 losses, and through these past couple of years, I've been trying to DIY improve my fertility, which you talked about, but continue to experience losses. I've always thought of myself as a healthy person, so these past few years of fertility struggles have really thrown me for a loop. I no longer really feel like I know what's best for me, and I hope to gain more confidence in how to support my body and fertility best. So when you wrote that, and just kind of remembering that feeling like you shared with us, and obviously that was a great definition of success right there. Hope to gain more confidence in how to support my body and fertility best. And how does it feel to even just accomplish that as well?
Yeah, huge. I I mean, yeah, it's looking back on, yeah, writing that, it was very confusing because anybody that knows me would have, yes, described me as, oh, this picture of health, so on and so
Mhm.
forth. But ultimately, what I was, the typical type A, grinding, not fueling myself right. Yes, I was thin. Everybody sees that as health, so on and so forth. But ultimately, I now know I wasn't taking care of myself in the way that I needed to. And yeah, and I feel that's the perfect. I did gain confidence in that, and I think I've also helped my husband gain better understanding too of, yeah, just how we need to treat ourselves to actually be healthy, not just look, be the look of healthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I resonate with that so much. It's such a big part of my story as well. And I know so many others. So thank you for
yeah.
sharing that and thinking back on, where we started and how you're feeling now, and taking time to really share that with our audience. So I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks, Olivia. I wish you the best.